Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching that earwax removal compilation video today. Two patients in this compilation video. So the first patient here, you can see very humid ear canal here, very soft wax as well. So we're going straight in with a standard sized Zollner tube here. So this is the wider of the two tubes that we use. And you can see it's got this kind of very mushy exterior, but this little slightly firmer section here at the front on the face of the wax. So that's what we're going to hold on to using the suction tube, and we're just trying to kind of reposition this and slowly bring it down the canal. Now sometimes when you've got very soft wax like this, there's not enough sort of consistency to the wax to be able to hold on to it, or structure I should say rather than consistency to the wax, to be able to hold on to it to bring this down the canal. And that's kind of what's happening here. We've got that solid bit of the entrance there, that very front facing piece, but the rest behind is very mushy. So we're going to go in with the Jobson horn here, go over that front section just to drop in behind it and draw this forwards. There we go. You can see we're getting behind that slightly harder section and using that against the wax to kind of bring it down the canal. But you get behind it, you can see that stretching of the wax there as well as it's coming away. There we go, out that's coming. You can see that smoother underside of the wax there. Look at that plug coming away there. So all held together really well. Now the reason it's kind of quite hard in the center and quite mushy around the outside, you can see that darker colored wax at the back, is because we advise a lot of our patients to use a little bit of olive oil before they come along. Well, why do we do that? It's because we want to soften the wax a little bit. We want it to slide across the canal really well. And if you've got a piece of wax that's dried onto the canal, it's really solid, lovely looking eardrum there. You can see what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like after. So when you've got that sort of really solid piece of wax that's dried onto the canal, it becomes very difficult to take away. But if you can soften it just a little bit, and only a day or two before, it'll just soften the outside edge. But you've got will normally get quite a hard little core through the center, and that's what we had on that last piece. You can see a very similar story here. A lot of oil's gone in on the outside section here, and it's really softened that up. But you can see as we get to that central portion, you can see the darker color wax starting to get uncovered there, and that's that kind of central kind of core of hard wax that we can hold on to. So we're going to draw this down. We're just going to try and sneak over the top. A little bit of difficulty. You can see it wasn't quite enough room for the Jobson horn, so as it went over, it just clipped the top of the wax and pushed it further in. So we're just going to hold on to it again now with the suction, draw this plug forwards again to the entrance of the canal. What I'm trying to do here is almost sort of wedge it into the entrance here. If we can maybe able to wiggle this out, but if not, if we wedge it there, then we may be able to just get behind it to drop the Jobson horn in. You can see I'm really struggling to get that round the corner, because when we get to the outer part of the ear canal, not only do we have to pull it out of the canal, but we have to bend it because it's got to come around the bowl of the ear there. So as you bring this forward, you're trying to kind of bend it out as well. There you can see it just doesn't want to come forward. It's so well formed to the shape of the canal. I've only just broken the front end, that slightly harder section of wax away from the front end, but it has made the wax smaller, which does sometimes help to get this out. Make sure you stay tuned for the second patient in this compilation, guys. We do have a perforation to show you as well on our second patient. You can see just how mobile this wax is. As soon as I tried to get a grip on it, it just pushed it almost right back to where we started. So let's go back in with the suction now. Try and draw this down. Awkward shaped piece of wax, this one. It doesn't want to come away easily. You can see that softer material. Now we did see a little gap there to the bottom left hand corner, so I know that this isn't a really long piece like the one from the other side. So if we can get it to the outside edge, we should be able to just twist and wiggle this out of the canal. But you can see I'm struggling to get a grip with the suction tube just because it's so soft at the top end there. That as we're pulling down, it's not really kind of pulling the wax forward, it's just kind of almost elongating the softer wax at the entrance, at the very sort of face of this this plug. So I'm just going to spin. Now we're going to turn it around. That gives us a different face to work on here. You can see now where we're just getting stuck. We've got to twist this, we've got to bend this around the corner to get this out. There we are, so we're around the corner now. So if we give this a little bit more of a wiggle, there we are. You can really see that harder, darker color wax there right in the center of that plug. There we go. Let's take a look behind that. There's the eardrum there. So this is what it looked like to start. It was very difficult to see, very humid ear canal. This is what it looks like at the end. So it's all looking very healthy in there. So this is what we removed. So 3 centimeters, or 1.25 inches there. So a fair old amount of wax come away there. Not quite 1.25 inches. Was it 1.1 inches? 1.1 inches. Inch and 1/8, yeah. So we can just see some fair sized pieces in there. Now this lovely gent came through. You can see we're quite blocked up. We've got quite a deep seated piece of wax here. So we're just going to get a grip on this with the standard size Zollner tube again. Let's see if we can start to bring this down the canal. There we go. Out that's coming. It's holding together really, really well. There we are. That came away in one nice piece there. You can see a lot of more flaky, drier type wax around the outside edge. So we're just going to tidy up this little bit of dry skin here and just at the base of the canal, just there. Now if we take a look around the corner there, we can see there's a central perforation there, quite a big hole in that eardrum there. Now the patient doesn't report any issues with this, so it's quite a well-behaved perforation. Now you do have to be careful with perforated eardrums. You've got to keep them as dry as you possibly can, because if you get any water in the ear canal, the eardrum naturally forms a barrier to the middle part of the ear, so the middle ear space. Now if you've got a hole in there, then what's going to happen? The water's going to go through, and it's a perfect breeding ground for infection. So you will find that people who have perforations are far more prone to infection and things like that, and it can cause a bit of damage in there if you get quite a pronounced infection. So this is what it looked like before, and you can see that's what it looked like after there. Yeah, so the advice we give to these kind of patients is, make sure if you bath or shower, you put something in the ear just to keep it lovely and dry, stop the water from getting in. Luckily, this patient doesn't suffer too much with infections. The ear canal, the perforation is very, very healthy. There's no wetness there. It's a dry perforation, so we're not getting constant seepage of fluid from the middle ear space coming out into the ear canal, which can also irritate and itch the ear canal as well. So luckily a patient has had that perforation for a long, long time, but it's very, very well behaved. So we can see on this other ear canal now, very dry, dark color wax here as well. So we're just starting to remove that. When I'm holding on to it, I can feel that there's a little bit of resistance to this coming away. And if you look carefully, you'll see a little flap of dry skin that's going further into the ear canal. That's what was holding this piece of wax on the outer part of the ear. So we'll take a look behind you. You'll see that flap of skin there and another little piece of wax there as well. So I'm trying to hold all of this into the suction tube at the same time, which stops it from clarinetting. So don't forget, clarinetting is where the skin vibrates up and down really quickly at the end of the suction tube and forces a really high-pitched shrill whistle, which can be quite uncomfortable for the patient. So when we're doing this, what we try and do is bunch all this into the suction tube. And if that's not possible, then you would downsize the suction tube, go in with a fine end, much smaller aperture on the end, less chance of it to vibrate on the end there. So we're just getting all these little bits of wax coming away really nicely. Another dark section sitting just behind you. You can see that bit of skin there stuck to the canal wall. There we go. That's come away really well. And we're just going to take a look then just behind all of this. There we go. We can see the eardrum's looking good. It's really shiny. There's no sign of any perforation, no sign of any infections, no scarring on there. All looking quite good. Now what you will see, there's a little bit there to the left-hand side, just below the hammer bone. There's little kind of 3 little white bumps there. Now that's something I would recommend we get our patient to go along and see the ear, nose and throat consultant. We'll go back to the GP to get a medical opinion on that. Sometimes when you see these kind of white waxy pieces just behind the eardrum, it can be a sort of precursor sometimes to cholesteatoma, which is this kind of ball of dead skin that can erode sort of bone and skin tissue as well. So it's always worth checking it. I don't think it's that, but I would prefer to get a medical opinion on that one as well, just to be on the safe side. But this is what we removed altogether, guys. Sorry, so we got 1 1/4 inches there, 3 centimeters worth of earwax. So what we'll do with that last patient, send a referral through to their GP asking for their medical opinion, and then we may get a referral through to ear, nose and throat if the GP deems it necessary. So we'll send that. So I'll keep you posted on that one and let you know what that one comes back with. Well guys, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another, and I shall see you all again real soon for our next video. Bye everyone.